highly flavored. My wife works out of town for a good part of the year. Getting in touch is sometimes problematic, and we occasionally use text messaging. During a slow back and forth text session, I received this text from her. She apparently was in 2 different conversations. Damn, I want to have 2 lives. One here, in City 1, and one in City 2 where I live. I want Jim and OP, so I can have both. What would you think? She realized that she had sent it to me and texted me that she hoped I didn't take it the wrong way. She wrote, Jim is my good friend who I do everything with, and you should understand. The thing is, this hurts me considerably more than if she had gone out and screwed a boy toy for the weekend. This clearly is a longer-term, truly intimate connection that she equates with our relationship. Or am I wrong? Update: we are at the marriage counselor. Still admits nothing wrong. Did find 2 emails that don't look good either. So far, we have not discussed this issue in MC yet. My plan is to require a choice. My marriage and my City or City 1, Jim and divorce. She has her phone locked and likely erases each text anyway. Found the email because she used my computer to access her account and left it open. I have called divorce attorney and forwarded these pieces of evidence onto her and started the paperwork. I am pretty broken-hearted. I am an MC to see if we can work it out, and as it is also a requirement for divorce in my jurisdiction. If we are in my city and away from Jim's city, I am hopeful that we can make the marriage work. Short of that, she is gone. The beginning of the paperwork has helped me by making my plan concrete. Maybe I am a bit weird, but it has helped my anxiety because I have decided what to do. Anyway, it is my expectation she will choose Jim given the emails I found. Well, the MC told her she could not be working on the marriage and continue this second relationship. W interprets this as controlling her. Sort of admitted the relationship was over the line. Says she doesn't want a divorce but not certain she can re-engage in the marriage. I'm continuing in the therapeutic posture for now. Well, the hits just keep on coming. I remain concerned that I did not really know the full story. This weekend the current W left to pick up someone at the airport and left her laptop in the kitchen. Her Yahoo email was open and I couldn't help but look through it. In the trash folder I found a copy of a risque picture she had taken of herself emailed to a different Yahoo account. I took a chance and tried to reset the password for that different email account, and the reset email came to her normal account. I was in. Turns out it is much worse than I thought. Multiple guys. Told her to leave when she got back. Tears, remorse, and apologies ensued. Wants me to continue counseling with her for a bit and see if we can get through this. Okay, MC has pleaded that I wait a month before making any permanent decision. W has been very loving, but in the midst of this crisis, went on a long weekend girl's birthday celebration trip to Las Vegas. If this wasn't so sad it would be comical. I have no evidence that this trip is not innocent, but just the thought of something like this when the relationship is in crisis seems crazy. Or am I wrong? Current plan is to take advantage of the warmth and attention for the month and boot her cute out. I know, I'm hating myself over it. Comes back Monday. Current pictures were last week and the affairs within 3 months. Beginnings. Who knows if they have ended? Wow, I hate myself. Her laptop wasn't printing to the wireless printer, so she asked me to try and fix it. For those of you that don't know, iTunes saves your current text messages when it backs up your iPhone. Open them up. OMG, I am an idiot. She has been seeing people for at least 2 years. Had lovers come to the house while I was working. It's probably been longer, but she changed out phone and the backup doesn't go any farther. Does this evidence help any in a no-fault divorce state? You are correct that she doesn't want to work on the marriage. It's about money. But as I said, I am definitely uninterested. And I did get checked last week. Fortunately, we have used condoms for birth control. I feel so used and foolish. Also, angry because some of our friends clearly knew some of it by the text messages. She is late 30s, I am 40s. Been together 10 years, married for 4. Stupid forever. I took a new position in a new city and she was to finish out the season in our old city. That was supposed to be it, and she would begin working in our new city. She said she didn't find an appropriate replacement and spent another season there supposedly wrapping things up. More accurately, she was unwrapping things. Anyway, she is on the way out. I fired the MC and have no interest in further counseling unless forced by the court. Just an update for those that are following. Filing the divorce has been interesting. I initially filed in the state where she had been working, as that, in my mind, was her residence. Now I have discovered that my current state will be more in my favor, and serving her while she is here will be easy. The new filing should occur tomorrow. The only downside to all this is by saying she lives here, my home becomes the marital home and I can't force her out. It is separate property. It has been surreal living in the same house through this. She continues to be very pleasant and even sweet. It's almost like she doesn't think I'll actually divorce her. I'm expecting an explosion when she gets served. Anyone have any advice on how to stay in the same home during the divorce? I have spoken to her mother, although not the complete details as they have been exposed. When she has been served, I will call her mother again. Don't want to make service harder. Should happen today or tomorrow. But you're right, at times she doesn't seem grounded in reality. Well, the twists and turns just keep coming. She was served with the divorce papers yesterday. Now it's all tears. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'm willing to go to NC with the guy, but you have to give me a baby. What the duck? She is really laying a guilt trip on me for breaking up the marriage. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone, but I am also feeling guilty and torn. I realize I left out a discovery that helps complete the picture. That Vegas girls trip while our marriage was in crisis was just an excuse to meet up with Jim and sleep together. She left a text message on her phone that was from the girlfriend she was supposedly rooming with while in Vegas. The girl was saying stop sleeping together and let's go to the spa. What room are you in? W was shocked when I told her I knew about Vegas. I even gave her the room number. She had replied to the email with the room number. I implied I had a pie follow her. She then admitted it. Anyway, just wanted the thread to be more complete. I am getting the blame game and guilt trip, and I have to admit, I am feeling guilty. A bit of the nice guy syndrome, I guess. New wrinkle. In my state, the community estate ends when the other party is served with divorce papers. There was very little cash in the community accounts. Most of it is in my separate property or in retirement accounts. As noted above, we have a prenup which actually precludes spousal support. My wayward wife has gone through a phase of being incredibly nice to me, to guilting me over giving up on the marriage, to now guilting me over the fact that she has no money to live on. She still lives in my home where I pay all the bills, etc. I am leaning toward giving her a stipend in exchange for her being pleasant. I can't get rid of her from the home until deck, as it is the marital home. The alternative is to say duck you and put up with her unpleasantness. Might also soften her in the settlement negotiations. She actually is entitled to our joint assets when we finally get things settled. That includes some retirement money and household items. She just can't access their worth until the divorce is final. If it wasn't for the prenup, she would be entitled to temporary support while the settlement is reached. The money would come from her portion of the joint assets, so it's not like I am giving her something she isn't eventually entitled to. I think your response is pretty harsh. My goal in the divorce is not to punish her or extract retribution. I'm still in the sad phase. What I do want is to be rid of her, and hopefully not of a huge amount of animosity as we deal with family things in the future. But it seems I am squarely in the minority here. She is actually a professional but works part of the year in a non-profit volunteer organization for peanuts. She has always lived off my money. It seems I am truly a minority of one on this issue. I will go with your wise counsel and tell her she has made her bed. Now she must sleep in it. As you remember, wife has been served but has the right to stay in my home until end of December. She has essentially no money as my prenup precludes spousal support. Her lame attorney sent a letter requesting $75 per month be sent to our joint account for her use without prejudice, meaning it wouldn't come out of her share. My attorney said he can ask for all her wants. We certainly are not going to do that. Now the wife says she has broken all contact with the current lover, will stop her work in the other city, and wants to stay married. Says she loves me. The last month has been okay. She had visited the and I have been doing my own thing, working on me. We both went to see her daughter, who has been having her own troubles. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but the WW has had some other problems. Her driver's license has been suspended. She says it's an error, but I think she accumulated too many points. Anyway, she can't drive and has been limited because she doesn't have any money. I have not responded to her latest move. I don't believe it, and I'm not certain it would make a difference even if I did. First, I agree that this is all geared to money, and another consideration which I haven't mentioned, her desire to get another degree. My position affords her with essentially tuition-free education in our state's university systems. I am not so naive as to be fooled by the outflow of honey recently. I am continuing the divorce and plan to have her out in December. Interestingly, the prenup was initially her idea. I have had a modicum of success financially, and when we started dating seriously, she brought up the idea. As we approached the wedding, she wanted to scratch the prenup but went along when I told her it was important to my sense of attachment. I am really not checking on her anymore. I have gotten to the point where I really don't care, and as late as 1.5 weeks ago, I know she was with her paramour. I hope it doesn't get ugly, but I'm sure she is going to be very unhappy. There are no signs of true remorse in my mind and no hint of real transparency at all. And it is true, I am not really angry at her at this point. I am sad that the relationship has come to this end. Angry at myself for not recognizing the affairs and for allowing her to continue her work in a distant city. Went to pay the phone bill and couldn't help but see the 11 and 47-minute calls to other man this Sunday. So much for it being over. Not even hiding it well. Unbelievable. So yesterday she apparently got a call from her lawyer telling her things are moving forward. She said, "I can't believe you are divorcing me." I told her I was not going to continue in this three-way relationship. I can't trust her and that the divorce was moving forward. She said she had broken it off with the I responded that an hour of phone conversation shows that isn't true, and that's just the contact I know about. Believe it or not, she actually said that just because she is talking with him doesn't mean they are together. I had to chuckle. It will likely get briefly tougher when she gets evicted from my home during the holidays. Stay tuned. The current paramour knows she is married and knows specifically about me, knows my name and the city I live in. I am sure she has described me a two-headed ogre with a heart of stone to justify her infidelity. I am not certain he knows that I know of him. He is single without any other attachment as far as I can tell. Some things she has said over the weekend have made me concerned there is a game plan to delay the divorce or move the venue to her work state, which is not nearly as helpful to me. I have the distinct impression she believes she has an ace up her sleeve which will damage me in the divorce. Email to attorney this morning to try and push things along. We were married in State 1 and I initially filed there thinking when I confronted her she would leave and go there. She refused to go back to City 1 to get served and wanted to get divorced in State 2. I believe she thought she would get alimony here. After retaining a lawyer here, he was confident the prenup would hold, which states no support, and State 2 ends the community estate at the time the other person is served. So, it worked out even better for me. If she successfully moves the case to State 1, I could owe half of my earning until divorce, which would be bad news. She would share in the joint estate, which would include the increase in our holdings from my earnings. Until the dissolution of the marriage, it would be in the form of property division at the end of the divorce, not an ongoing payment. She will receive a small stipend for her direction of her volunteer program. She could get a job in a heartbeat. She is a licensed professional, but she hasn't worked a real paying job in quite some time. I would love to get this done quicker. Wish there was a way. I can't throw her out yet, and I may need a court order to accomplish that even when her 90 days are up. Still waiting for clarification from my lawyer on that one. I wonder if any of you have experienced this. My STBXW keeps asking me whether I really am going to divorce her. I know and have expected the campaign to save the marriage as noted previously in this thread, but this recurrent question about divorce is just weird. Also, a little unhappy with the attorney's lack of action. I sent responses to him for the 27 questions regarding finances from the STBXW's attorney, and it has been 2 weeks with no feedback, and the materials have not gone to the opposing attorney. The delays in this are really weighing on me. Surprisingly, I think now she really is disillusioned with the idea of the OM. The last contact I came across was November 15th, but I haven't made any effort to check, and she had a scheduled trip to her work city with flights all arranged for the beginning of this month that she chose not to take. Maybe Jim dumped her. Anyway, it seems she is awakening to reality in some way. Finally spoke to the legal assistant who said my attorney is wading through all the material and sent them on the 27 question from the STBXW's attorney. I have to admit it was almost a ream of paper. I also refused to answer a couple questions because they were not relevant to property settlement. Even went so far as to cite the family code section that made the question irrelevant. At the rate things are progressing, I think she will be here until New Year's. Pisses me off, because this is what she wanted. She is leaving on the 29th. Property settlement not complete, but she will be gone. More manipulation last week. She took some pills from the medicine cabinet and put them at her bedside table, making sure I saw her do it. I simply scooped them up and flushed them and went to my bed, supposedly leaving Friday. Stay tuned. I thought her ticket was the 29th, but now she is leaving supposedly today, 30th. I won't be home until this evening. I hope I find an empty house. Okay, she is gone. Did not take all her stuff, so she will return at some point to claim her personal property. But, for now, she is gone. Well, the STBXW has been calling and emailing me. Actually, asked when I was going to go visit her. There is no end to the pathology. I replied to her request for me to visit incredulously, saying, I am moving on and you should too. You chose Jim and City 2 and I choose not to be anyone's backup plan. I wish nothing but the best for you, but I deserve better than to be cuckolded. Please pursue your happiness with Jim, Rob, Chris, or whoever meets your needs. I am strongly considering boxing the remainder of her stuff up. I actually already have a storage unit I can put it in. On the more pleasant side, on the advice of my cousin, I actually put up a profile on a dating site and have had 4 women already asked to get together for coffee or a glass of wine. Who knew how much of a stud I am? Anyway, I think a little companionship with friends and the odd casual date is just what the doctor ordered. Well, she arrived in town to pick up a few things. Tried to be very nice. I was cordial. Told her any personal items left at the end of the month would be boxed up and placed in storage. She is still trying to have me and her paramour as well. Still living in a fantasy world. I responded to her email she sent with, I have spent the last day or so thinking about our conversation Sunday. I've gone back and looked at some of the horrid email and texts I found and your total disrespect for me as your husband, and have to agree you are a horrible person. I refuse to share a relationship. I do not want to see you again. I will not be seeing you on the 20th and will not be here on the weekend of 28th. Your personal items and clothes that remain when I return on that Monday will be boxed up and stored for the time being. I don't want to have idle chit-chat with you. As I said before, you have made your choice. I hope you are happy with it. Good luck. I do wish you well. To receive a reply. I don't really know what to say. I thought things went well this weekend and that we could be nice to each other. Why would not want to talk to me and let me a part of your life? I love you and want to be involved and maybe someday find a way to make it up to you. Boxing up my things is exactly what I asked you not to do. Why would you? I know I deserve everything you might throw my way, but I won't give up, baby. I know you love and want to see me and I'll keep trying. My final comment before going dark. I am sorry, but you, by your decisions, have given up any right to be a part of my life. You will be a part of my past. There is nothing to resolve. Be well. She is trying still to keep me as a backup. Texted me today, don't be mad at me. Really, and I have just begun the dating process. My cousin suggested on online dating site. Turns out I am madness. In a week I have arranged 4 first dates and a follow-on dinner with a woman who appears to be just wonderful. Nothing serious, but the ego boost has been nice. Well, she got some package, so I texted her to let her know something was here. That probably was a mistake. I then received an email with a flyer from her professional society gala saying she would love for me to take her to it. You got to admit it is at least entertaining. Well, I couldn't help myself. I did reply that she should take Jim and you need to be spending your emotional energy on your lover. It's not fair to him or me. She replied, I wish I could move on, but I cannot get you out of my mind. I just can't stop. I emailed perhaps individual counseling will help you move on. Good luck. In retrospect, I know I should not have even entered into this conversation. But I got a little sick satisfaction out of it. I need to work even harder on my separation. This should mean nothing to me. More work for me to do on me. She seems to be pulling out all the stops to delay the divorce. Lawyer is not responding to my lawyer's calls. Etc. Went to a wedding a week ago that she was also invited to and she was cordial. Then received a text saying, I want to come home. Right now. I'll drop everything if you are up for it. What do you say? I replied, no. We'll have another expensive call with the attorney next week. Still have to pack up the rest of her things. Also discovered STBXW has been tracking my online activity. Ended up emailing several women I have been casually dating and saying we are still in love and working on getting back together. After Herculean effort, I discovered she had installed the software on the home PC back in December. Couldn't find it until I booted the computer up and used an antivirus rescue disk which discovered it. Fortunately, once I knew what software she was using, I was able to pop up the program's control panel and uninstall it, changed all my passwords. Pretty scary. Life is actually quite good. Would be excellent if all was resolved. Work is challenging. My cousin's suggestion to get online, which was great. I have more women interested in meeting me than I can actually meet and 3 that I am seeing on a more or less regular basis. I'm going to cool off one of them because I just can't keep up with the social life. I know that some of you are rolling your eyes in disbelief, but I have discovered that a middle-aged man in good shape who is confident and can carry a conversation is a hot commodity. Trust me, I am no Brad Pitt. Update. STBXW's lawyer finally responding to the threat of going to trial or seeking an order to enforce the prenup. Looks like the end is drawing near. New issue for me is I'm getting a bit over my head in the dating department. Couple of women wanting more than I can offer right now. Oh well. News update. My lawyer is invoking the arbitration clause of the prenup because the STBXW is simply delaying it. My understand is the court has required some action before May 15th or we go to trial. Our action may be a motion to enforce the prenup. Seems darn complicated. STBXW texting me and emailing me wanting to visit me during their spring break next week. She continues to be orbiting Pluto. I changed the locks as soon as she was gone so she will have trouble getting in if she just shows up. God, this just seems to be going on forever. On a brighter note, moved one of the women I am spending time with to the farm league when a CY award winner thrust her way into the game. Well, the stalling may be just about over. She is picking up the rest of her stuff this weekend and her lawyer has sent an email outlining an okay property settlement. I know I shouldn't count the chickens until they are hatched, but yeah, she just sent an email asking me to have a drink with her tomorrow. At least she is consistent. I had some concerns at letting her be alone in the home, but I realized the things there were just that, things. I took some photos and other precious items with me and locked up some things in the safe. There is nothing else in the house that I can't live without. I know she will be taking things that are not hers. She is incredibly self-centered, but the end is in sight. Should have the final agreement completed in a week and approved within 30 days. Although the divorce won't be official until summer. Well, she made a mess of the place, dropped ink or blood on the carpet and on the terrazzo floor in the kitchen, splattered a little on the wall as well. Took some items she was not entitled to, including several $100s of cash in the household drawer that I was stupid enough to leave there. I have half a mind to file a police report. Was able to clean up most of the mess. Painted over the splattered wall this evening. Got the draft settlement from my attorney today. It will be nice to have it all done. If she thought she could get away with it, she would have taken everything. I'm sure. And the hard drive was still there. I'm sure she was pissed that the computer was locked. Well, I gave the attorney the rundown on the damage and informed him that I don't want her in the place again. Afraid she may have stolen a house key, so I rekeyed the house again. Glad I decided to spend the money on a rekeying kit rather than a locksmith. Would have cost me 3 times as much. Don't have her signed agreement yet. The not soon enough ex-to-be took a check during her return to my home. It is an IRS refund which was supposed to be applied to estimated payments for the next year. And now her attorney sent a letter saying she is going to cash it. Just what I need, penalties and interest. I deserve the "I told you so." I know. The check was made out to both of us and should not have been refunded. I have a message out to the lawyer. God, this is taking too long and the drama is ridiculous. Attorney says she can't legally cash the IRS check as it is made out to us both. But stranger things have happened at banks. We did notify her and her attorney that I do not authorize her to cash it. I am amazed that this process has taken so long. Can't wait for the final decree. Not much to tell. She was not able to cash the IRS check, actually. She is vacationing and had the nerve to ask me for money for a yoga retreat. Her attorney has not responded to my attorney's letter of earlier this month about our settlement. I will call my lawyer next week if I haven't heard anything more. Nothing new going on. Well, looks like I actually will be going to trial. She has yet to sign the agreement we put forward for the final settlement of our divorce. Sent me a demand for additional items from my home, some of which I am happy to give her. Like copies of photos from our trips. And others I am not. Art I purchased before we were even married. My attorney says this is nuts. Should have never had to go to trial, given the prenup, but sees no way around it. Slim chance that setting the trial date may get her to sign the deal. Quite frankly, I have been living my life as if it was all done already and it was only the new request for personal belongings that brought everything to the forefront again. Oh well, can't say it hasn't been interesting. I knew something wasn't right when I couldn't reach her easily when she was working out of town. Then the misdirected text message sent it all tumbling down. I really didn't have a clue before that. I was a little too trusting and I should have been a bit more controlling and not permitted us to be in different cities for any real period of time. The thing is, this event just revealed who she really is, as I found out there were other men and some here in my own home. I firmly believe this would have happened whether she was here or there, and eventually I would have found out. Actually, probably better it happened earlier in our marriage than later. I guess I'll send her a thank you card. Well, the STBXW reached out to me via a text message alerting me that she had gotten an invite to a charity formal my company sponsors and that she will be attending. Clearly, really wants to see me badly. Taking my current GF and not even responding to the text. I guess she believes if I see her dolled up, I won't be able to control myself. Yeah, right, half a year later, still not divorced. STBX did not sign the agreement she and her attorney agreed to in writing. Waited forever for a court date and the judge is refusing to uphold the divorce agreement and is sending us to arbitration in the other state. Glad I haven't had to pay support through all this time. I am enjoying the companionship of a wonderful lady, but I am very disillusioned with family court. Getting run around after running around. Delay advantages the STBXW and she has a lawyer that seems adept in delay. STBXW is now in law school, too. 3 months later, the judge has ruled we must go to arbitration. STBXW continues to delay things to increase her payday. I can't believe how long this is taking. To date, it has cost $45,000 and undoubtedly, she will seek her lawyer's fees as well. No real action. They finally sent the last of her property to her, awaiting an arbitration as required by our prenup. She keeps delaying thinking it will increase her take. Unfortunately, she is probably right. Our family law system is totally messed up. 1 year later, I can report that I am finally divorced. Went to mediation. She was expert at delaying at every turn. I hate to say it, but it paid off for her as the marital community estate continued to grow from me working my tail off. I am embarrassed to say how much this mistake in my life has cost me. Having this ordeal finally done, despite the costs, has been a great relief. I just have to vent about this craziness. In the divorce, XW was given a big chunk of one of my retirement plans. The decree has the amount specified exactly, and no interest to be paid on the money from my plan. To transfer the money to her, she needs to have a special court order for retirement plans approved and filed with the court and to fill out an application for an account to transfer the money to her. I know her legal team has drafted the order because it was sent to me and my lawyer and I approved the form. I sent her the application for the new account which needs nothing but her signature and I even gave her a shipping label so she could return it to me. To date she has not filed the special court order for retirement plans, nor returned the account application, despite me reminding her that she is getting zero return on this money. I am keeping her money in money market holdings because I don't want a market crash to wipe out the money I owe her. Even so, I have made a pretty penny on the interest. My GF thinks she is doing whatever she can to stay connected and that I am not totally rid of her until this transaction occurs. If this isn't crazy, I don't know what is. Never thought this would drag on like this, and she isn't gone. Still sends me the occasional text message which I ignore. Don't really care about getting her texts. I can just ignore them, but I would like to get the financial connections totally severed. My comment, Well, OP can start build his family with someone else. This is a start to